Every family has secrets. Some are small, hidden behind closed doors, while others are so powerful they threaten to change everything. In this story, we dive into the life of Emma, the beloved daughter of a famous household. To the world, she is the picture of innocence, a young woman growing up under the watchful eyes of her parents. But behind the curtains of her family's perfect image lies a secret that will shake their world forever. Emma has been living a double life. By day, she is the cheerful daughter, attending family dinners, smiling for cameras, and keeping up appearances. By night, she slips away into a world of forbidden romance. Her secret? A man named Matt, a successful businessman with charm, ambition, and a mysterious past. Their love story begins quietly, hidden from everyone, but soon grows into something impossible to conceal. This is not just a tale of romance. It is a story of risk, of choices made in the shadows, and of consequences that ripple through an entire family. Emma's secret relationship will lead to revelations no one expected. Whispers of scandal, the shock of pregnancy, and the looming question of whether love can survive under the weight of judgment. As we unfold this 11-chapter journey, you'll witness the highs and lows of Emma's transformation, from secrecy to confrontation, from heartbreak to hope. And at the center of it all stands her family, torn between protecting their image and embracing the truth. Will Emma's love story end in tragedy, or will it blossom into a new beginning? Let's begin with Chapter 1, the secret room dates that started it all. It all began on quiet evenings when the rest of the household believed Emma was tucked safely in her room. She would wait until the house fell silent, her parents asleep, her siblings distracted. Then, with a racing heart, she would sneak out. Not far, but just enough to meet Matt in a rented room nearby. It was their sanctuary, a place where the world couldn't judge them. Matt was older, confident, and carried himself with the aura of success. He wasn't just any man. He was a businessman with connections, wealth, and a reputation that made him both admired and feared. For Emma, he was everything her sheltered life had never offered: freedom, adventure, and passion. Their meetings were filled with whispered promises, laughter, and the thrill of secrecy. But secrecy has a way of breeding danger. Emma knew her family would never approve. Her parents had always envisioned a safe, respectable path for her, a life free from scandal. Yet, the more she met Matt, the deeper she fell. Their love grew stronger, and the room became more than just a hiding place. It became the foundation of a future Emma dared to dream about. Still, every time she returned home, guilt followed her. She would smile at her parents, pretending nothing was wrong, while inside she carried the weight of her secret. The risk was enormous, but the pull of love was greater. Emma believed she could balance both worlds, her family's expectations and her forbidden romance. But fate had other plans. This chapter marks the beginning of Emma's journey into a world where love and secrecy collide. And soon the consequences of these secret room dates would spiral into something far bigger than she ever imagined. Emma's secret meetings with Matt were more than stolen moments. They were the beginning of a dangerous love story. Matt wasn't just any man, he was a businessman whose presence commanded attention. Tall, confident, and always dressed in sharp suits, he carried himself with the kind of authority that made people listen when he spoke. To Emma, he was magnetic. Every word, every gesture seemed to pull her deeper into his world. Their conversations in that hidden room weren't only about romance. Matt spoke of his ventures, his successes, and the risks he had taken to build his empire. He painted pictures of a life filled with luxury, travel, and independence, things Emma had only dreamed of. For a girl raised under the careful watch of her family, Matt's stories were intoxicating. He represented freedom, a chance to step outside the shadow of her parents and carve her own destiny. But Matt's charm wasn't just in his wealth or ambition. He had a way of making Emma feel seen, truly seen, in a way no one else had. He listened to her fears, her frustrations, and her dreams. He didn't treat her like the daughter of a famous family. He treated her like a woman with her own voice. That was what made their bond so powerful. In Matt's eyes, Emma wasn't just a girl sneaking away. She was his equal, his partner, his future. Still, Emma knew the risks. Every time she returned home, she carried the weight of her secret. Her parents believed she was focused on her studies. Her siblings thought she was simply quiet and reserved. No one suspected the truth, that Emma was falling in love with a man who could change her life forever. And yet, the thrill of secrecy only made their connection stronger. Matt, too, understood the danger. He knew Emma's family would never approve of their relationship, at least not at first. But he was determined. He promised her that one day their love would no longer need to hide. He spoke of a future where they could walk hand in hand, openly, without fear of judgment. His confidence gave Emma hope, even as doubt lingered in her heart. The businessman's charm was undeniable, but it was also dangerous. Emma was caught between two worlds, the safe, predictable life her family had built for her, and the thrilling, uncertain path Matt offered. And as their love grew stronger, so did the risk of discovery. What began as secret room dates was quickly becoming something far more serious, something that would soon demand a choice. This chapter marks the turning point. Emma's secret romance was no longer just a game of stolen nights. It was becoming a future she couldn't ignore, and one that would soon collide with the reality of her family's expectations. Secrets rarely stay hidden forever. For weeks, Emma believed she could balance her double life: family dinners at home, secret rendezvous with Matt in their private room. But the walls of secrecy began to crack, not because of what she said, but because of what others began to notice. Her siblings were the first to sense something unusual. Emma, once predictable and easy to read, had started to change. She smiled more often. Her phone never left her side, and she seemed distracted during conversations. At night, her footsteps echoed faintly in the hallway, and though she tried to be careful, the sound of a door closing too softly or a creak in the floorboards did not go unnoticed. Whispers began to circulate. Emma was hiding something. Her parents, Amber and Trent, were slower to suspect. They trusted Emma, believing she was focused on her studies and her future. But Amber, ever observant, noticed subtle signs. The way Emma's eyes lit up when she checked her messages, the way she dressed with more care before leaving the house, and the nervous energy that seemed to follow her. Amber didn't yet know the truth, but a mother's intuition told her something was unfolding beneath the surface. Outside the family, rumors began to spread. A neighbor claimed to have seen Emma meeting someone late at night. Another whispered that she was spending time with a man much older than her. Though no one had proof, gossip has a way of growing, and soon the whispers reached ears that mattered. The Johnston family, known for their public image, was suddenly the subject of quiet speculation. Emma felt the pressure mounting. Every time she left the house, she worried someone might follow. Every time she returned, she feared her parents would confront her. The thrill of secrecy was slowly being replaced by the fear of exposure. Yet, despite the risks, she couldn't stay away from Matt. Their bond was too strong, their love too intoxicating. She told herself that the whispers were harmless, that no one truly knew the truth. But deep down, she understood that discovery was inevitable. Matt, ever confident, reassured her. "Let them talk," he said. "Rumors are just noise. What matters is us." His words gave Emma courage, but they couldn't silence the growing tension. The more people whispered, the closer the truth came to the surface. And Emma knew that once her secret was revealed, her life, and her family's, would never be the same. Secrets, no matter how carefully guarded, have a way of slipping into the light. For Emma, the walls she had built around her secret romance with Matt were beginning to crumble. The whispers of suspicion had grown louder, and soon they reached the ears of those who mattered most, her parents. It began with Amber. A mother's intuition is rarely wrong, and Amber had been watching her daughter closely. Emma's late-night absences, her distracted smiles, the way she seemed to glow with a happiness she couldn't explain, all of it pointed to something hidden. One evening, Amber decided to confront her. Sitting across from Emma at the kitchen table, she asked softly, "Is there something you're not telling me?" Emma froze, her heart pounding. For the first time, she realized the truth was dangerously close to being exposed. Trent, too, had begun to notice. He wasn't as quick to suspect romance, but he knew his daughter was hiding something. He had overheard fragments of conversations, seen the way Emma guarded her phone, and sensed the tension in her silence. Together, Amber and Trent began to piece together the puzzle. And when a neighbor casually mentioned seeing Emma with a man late at night, the truth could no longer be ignored. Emma tried to deny it at first. She insisted she was just meeting friends, that the rumors were exaggerated. But Amber pressed harder, her voice trembling with both fear and love. "Emma, you don't have to hide from us. Whoever he is, we need to know." The words broke through Emma's defenses. Tears filled her eyes as she whispered the name she had kept secret for so long. That the revelation hit her parents like a storm. Shock, confusion, and worry collided in their hearts. Who was this man? Why had Emma hidden him? And what did this mean for their family's reputation? Amber's protective instincts clashed with Trent's cautious pragmatism. They wanted to trust their daughter, but the secrecy made them question everything. Meanwhile, Matt remained confident. He told Emma not to fear, that their love was strong enough to withstand any confrontation. But Emma knew the battle ahead would not be easy. Her parents had always envisioned a safe, respectable path for her. And now she was asking them to accept a man they barely knew, a man whose presence already stirred gossip. The hidden truth had finally emerged, and with it came a storm of emotions. Emma's secret was no longer hers alone. It belonged to her family now, and the choices they made in the days ahead would determine whether love could survive the weight of judgment. The truth was out, and the Johnston household could no longer pretend everything was normal. Emma's confession about Matt had shattered the illusion of a perfect family, leaving Amber and Trent struggling to process the reality. Their daughter was in love with a man they barely knew, a man whose presence already stirred gossip in the community. The house, once filled with laughter and routine, now echoed with tension. Amber felt betrayed. She had always believed Emma would confide in her, that their bond as mother and daughter was strong enough to withstand secrets. But Emma had hidden Matt for months, sneaking away under the cover of night. To Amber, it wasn't just about romance. It was about trust. She worried that her daughter was being manipulated, that Matt's charm and wealth were blinding Emma to the risks of such a relationship. "You don't know him like you think you do," Amber warned, her voice heavy with fear. Trent, on the other hand, tried to remain calm. He understood Emma's desire for independence, but he couldn't ignore the whispers surrounding Matt. As a father, his instinct was to protect his daughter, yet he knew confrontation could push her further away. "We need to meet him," Trent insisted. "If he's serious about you, he should face us." It was a compromise, but one that carried its own risks. Emma agreed reluctantly, knowing Matt's confidence would carry him through any interrogation. The siblings were caught in the middle. Some defended Emma, believing she deserved happiness, while others worried about the family's reputation. Arguments broke out at the dinner table, voices rising, emotions spilling over. The Johnston family, once united, was now divided between love and shame. Emma felt the weight of their judgment pressing down on her, yet she refused to let go of Matt. "He's not what you think," she pleaded. "He loves me." Matt, true to his nature, remained unfazed. He assured Emma that families always resist change, but eventually they would accept him. His confidence gave Emma hope, but it also fueled Amber's suspicion. Was he truly in love, or was he using Emma to gain influence and recognition? The question lingered, unanswered, as the family struggled to reconcile their fears with Emma's determination. This chapter marked the breaking point. The Johnston household was no longer a sanctuary. It was a battlefield of emotions, torn between protecting their daughter and preserving their image. And as the tension grew, Emma's secret was about to take an even more shocking turn, one that would change everything forever. The Johnston household was already divided, emotions running high after Emma's confession about Matt. But nothing could prepare them for the storm that was about to break. One evening, as the family gathered in the living room, Emma stood before them, trembling. Her eyes were filled with fear, yet behind that fear was a quiet determination. She knew the truth could no longer be hidden. "I need to tell you something," she began, her voice barely above a whisper. Amber leaned forward, sensing the gravity of her daughter's words. Trent folded his arms, bracing himself. Emma took a deep breath, and with tears streaming down her face, she spoke the words that would change everything. "I'm pregnant." The room fell silent. For a moment, time seemed to stop. Amber's eyes widened in shock, her hand instinctively covering her mouth. Trent's expression hardened, his protective instincts surging. The siblings exchanged stunned glances, their whispers replaced by a heavy silence. Emma's secret was no longer just about love. It was about life, responsibility, and the future of their family. Amber was the first to speak, her voice trembling. "Emma, how could you keep this from us?" Her words carried both heartbreak and anger. Trent, struggling to contain his emotions, demanded answers. "Is it Matt's?" Emma nodded, her tears confirming the truth. The revelation was complete. Emma was carrying Matt's child, and the family's world had been turned upside down. For Emma, the confession was both terrifying and liberating. She had carried the secret alone, fearing judgment, fearing rejection. But now the truth was out, and there was no turning back. She pleaded with her parents to understand. "I love him. This baby is ours. I know it's not what you wanted for me, but it's my life." Amber's heart broke as she looked at her daughter. She saw not just the girl she had raised, but a young woman standing on the edge of adulthood, facing choices that would define her forever. Trent, torn between anger and love, struggled to accept the reality. He wanted to protect Emma, but he couldn't ignore the scandal that loomed over their family. Matt, when told of Emma's revelation, remained calm. He promised to stand by her, to take responsibility, to prove that his love was real. His confidence gave Emma strength, but it did little to ease her parents' fears. The Johnston household was now at a crossroads. Accept the pregnancy and support Emma, or resist and risk losing her entirely. The revelation of Emma's pregnancy had shaken the Johnston household to its core. The air inside the home was heavy, filled with unspoken questions and raw emotions. For Amber and Trent, the confrontation was inevitable. They could no longer ignore the reality that their daughter's secret romance had led to consequences far greater than they had imagined. Amber was the first to confront Emma directly. Her voice trembled with both anger and sorrow as she demanded answers. "How could you let this happen, Emma? You're so young. Do you even understand what this means?" Emma, her eyes swollen from tears, stood her ground. "I know what it means, Mom. I know it's not what you wanted for me, but I love him. And this baby is mine. I'm not ashamed." Trent's reaction was quieter but no less intense. He paced the room, his jaw tight, his mind racing. As a father, his instinct was to protect Emma, but the situation left him torn. He wanted to shield her from judgment, yet he couldn't ignore the scandal that loomed over their family. "Emma," he said finally, his voice heavy, "this isn't just about you. It's about all of us. People will talk. They already are." The confrontation grew heated. Emma's siblings chimed in, some defending her, others echoing their parents' fears. Voices rose, emotions spilled over, and for a moment, it seemed the family might fracture completely. But then, in the midst of the chaos, Emma spoke with a strength none of them had expected. "I don't need approval. I need support. I'm going to be a mother, whether you accept it or not." Her words silenced the room. Amber's tears flowed freely as she realized the truth. Her daughter was no longer a child. Emma was stepping into adulthood, making choices that carried weight and responsibility. Trent, too, felt the shift. He saw the determination in Emma's eyes, the resolve that could not be broken. Slowly, painfully, the confrontation began to soften into something else: acceptance. Amber reached for Emma's hand, her voice breaking. "I don't agree with how this happened, but you're my daughter. I can't turn my back on you." Trent nodded, his expression still conflicted but gentler now. "We'll stand by you, Emma. But Matt needs to prove himself. He needs to show us he's worthy of you and this child." The Johnston household was far from healed, but a fragile bridge had been built. Confrontation had given way to the first steps of acceptance. The family was beginning to realize that love, no matter how complicated, could not be erased. And as Emma's pregnancy moved forward, they would have to decide whether to embrace the future or be consumed by the past. After the storm of confrontation, the Johnston household slowly began to settle into a fragile calm. The truth of Emma's pregnancy could no longer be denied, and though emotions still ran high, the family realized they had to face the reality ahead. A baby was coming, and preparation was no longer optional. It was essential. Amber, though still conflicted, took the lead. As a mother, she understood the weight of responsibility that Emma now carried. She began guiding her daughter through the basics: doctor's appointments, nutrition, and the importance of rest. Emma resisted at first, wanting to prove she could handle it on her own, but Amber's persistence softened her. Slowly, Emma began to accept her mother's guidance, realizing that love often comes in the form of tough lessons. Trent focused on the practical side. He worried about finances, stability, and the future Emma was stepping into. Though Matt promised to provide, Trent wanted to ensure his daughter had security beyond words. He began researching options, quietly considering how the family could support Emma without enabling recklessness. His protective instincts remained strong, but beneath them was a growing acceptance. Emma was no longer just his daughter. She was about to become a mother herself. Matt, meanwhile, embraced the role of provider. He accompanied Emma to appointments, spoke confidently about their future, and began making plans for a home where they could raise their child. His determination impressed some of the family, though others remained skeptical. Was his confidence genuine, or was it simply another layer of charm? The question lingered, but Emma believed in him wholeheartedly. His presence gave her strength, and his promises gave her hope. The siblings adjusted in their own ways. Some offered support, helping Emma with small tasks, and encouraging her when doubts crept in. Others struggled, worried about how the pregnancy would affect the family's reputation. Yet, even in their disagreements, they began to rally around Emma, realizing that the baby would soon be part of all their lives. As preparations unfolded, the Johnston household transformed. What had once been a place of tension slowly became a space of cautious hope. Baby clothes appeared in Emma's room, conversations shifted toward names and futures, and the family began to imagine what life would look like after the child's arrival. The fear of scandal remained, but it was overshadowed by the undeniable truth. A new life was on the way. The Johnston household had begun to adjust to the reality of Emma's pregnancy, but just as the family was finding a fragile rhythm, another revelation arrived. One that would change the course of everything. Emma and Matt had been quietly planning their future, and now it was time to share their decision with the world. It happened during a family dinner, the kind of evening where everyone gathered around the table, trying to restore normalcy. Emma sat beside Matt, her hand resting nervously on his. Amber and Trent exchanged cautious glances, still unsure how to fully accept the man who had entered their daughter's life so suddenly. The siblings chatted, laughter filling the room, until Emma cleared her throat. The sound silenced the table. She looked at her parents, her voice steady but filled with emotion. "We decided to get married." The words hung in the air like thunder. Amber's fork clattered against her plate. Trent froze mid-bite, and the siblings stared in disbelief. Emma continued, her eyes shining with determination. The wedding is set for January 18, 2026. We want to start our life together, not just as parents, but as husband and wife. Amber's emotions surged, shock, fear, and a flicker of hope all at once. She had worried that Matt's presence was temporary, that he would abandon Emma when responsibility grew too heavy. But this announcement suggested something else: commitment. Still, the timing felt overwhelming. Amber whispered, "Are you sure? Marriage is forever. This isn't just about love, it's about building a life." Trent leaned back, his expression unreadable. He had demanded proof of Matt's intentions, and now here it was. Yet, he couldn't ignore the weight of the decision. "Marriage is not a solution to scandal," he said firmly. "It's a promise. If you're going to do this, you need to be certain." Matt, ever confident, spoke up. His voice was calm, steady, and persuasive. "I love Emma. I've loved her from the beginning. This isn't about appearances. It's about us. I want to stand beside her, raise our child together, and build a future that honors both of our families." His words carried conviction, and for the first time, Amber and Trent saw a glimpse of sincerity beyond his charm. The announcement rippled beyond the family. Friends, neighbors, and the community began to buzz with the news. Some saw it as redemption, others as scandal dressed in celebration. But for Emma, it was a declaration of love and courage. She was no longer hiding. She was stepping into the light, ready to embrace her future. The announcement of Emma and Matt's wedding had already sent shockwaves through the Johnston household. The family was still adjusting to the idea of Emma becoming a wife and mother. But Amber knew that if she wanted her daughter's future to be secure, she had to make a decision. And so, quietly, she began planning a gesture that would speak louder than words. Amber had always dreamed of giving her children the best start in life. For Emma, that dream now meant something extraordinary. She decided that on the day of Emma's wedding, she would present her daughter with a gift unlike any other: a house worth $1 million. It wasn't just a home. It was a symbol of trust, support, and a mother's unconditional love. The decision didn't come easily. Amber wrestled with doubts. Was she rewarding secrecy and scandal? Was she encouraging Emma to leap into adulthood too quickly? But every time she looked at her daughter, she saw not just the mistakes, but the courage it took to stand by her choices. Emma was determined to build a life with Matt, and Amber realized that the best way to protect her was to give her stability. A home would be more than bricks and walls. It would be a foundation for Emma's new family. When Amber shared her plan with Trent, his reaction was mixed. He admired her generosity, but he worried about the implications. $1 million is more than a gift, he cautioned. It's a statement. People will talk. Amber nodded, knowing the risks, but her resolve was firm. Let them talk. This is about Emma. She deserves to start her marriage with security, not fear. The day Amber revealed her decision to Emma was unforgettable. Emma's eyes widened in disbelief, her hands trembling as she realized the magnitude of her mother's gift. A house? Mom, are you serious? Amber smiled through tears. Yes, it's yours. Consider it my blessing for your future. Emma broke down, overwhelmed by gratitude. For all the tension and conflict, this moment reminded her that her family's love was still unshakable. Matt, too, was stunned. Though confident in his ability to provide, he recognized the significance of Amber's gesture. It wasn't just about wealth, it was about acceptance. For the first time, he felt truly welcomed into the Johnston family. This chapter marked a powerful transformation. What began as secrecy and scandal had evolved into support and hope. Amber's $1 million gift was more than generosity. It was a declaration that love, no matter how complicated, deserved a chance to thrive. And with the wedding day approaching, the Johnston family was finally ready to embrace the future. January 18, 2026. The day had finally come. After months of secrecy, confrontation, and revelation, Emma Johnston stood at the threshold of a new life. The wedding day was more than a ceremony. It was the culmination of a journey that had tested love, family, and resilience. The venue was breathtaking. Amber and Trent had spared no effort to ensure their daughter's day was unforgettable. Flowers lined the aisles, soft music filled the air, and guests whispered with anticipation. For many, the wedding was not just a celebration, but a statement. Emma and Matt had faced scandal, judgment, and doubt, yet here they were, ready to unite as husband and wife. Emma, dressed in a gown that shimmered under the lights, walked slowly down the aisle. Her heart raced, but her smile was radiant. She carried not just the weight of her own choices, but the hope of a future she had fought to claim. Matt stood at the altar, his eyes locked on hers, his confidence unwavering. For him, this was the moment to prove his love was more than charm. It was commitment. Amber watched with tears in her eyes. The journey had been painful, filled with fear and doubt, but as she saw her daughter glowing with happiness, she knew she had made the right choice. Trent, standing beside her, felt a surge of pride. Emma was no longer the little girl he had tried to protect. She was a woman stepping boldly into her destiny. The ceremony unfolded with grace. Vows were exchanged, promises spoken, and rings slipped onto trembling fingers. When the officiant declared them husband and wife, the room erupted in applause. Emma and Matt kissed, sealing their union not just in love, but in defiance of every obstacle they had faced. Then came Amber's surprise. As the reception began, she stood before the guests and announced her gift, a house worth $1 million. Gasps filled the room, followed by cheers. Emma, overwhelmed, embraced her mother tightly. The gift was more than generosity. It was a symbol of acceptance, a declaration that the family was ready to support Emma's new life. The night was filled with laughter, dancing, and joy. For the first time in months, the Johnston household felt whole again. The scandal that had threatened to tear them apart had transformed into a story of resilience and love. Emma and Matt's journey was far from over, but their wedding day marked the beginning of a new chapter, one filled with hope, responsibility, and the promise of family. This final chapter closed the circle. What began as secrecy and whispers had blossomed into celebration and unity. Emma Johnston was no longer hiding. She was stepping into the light, ready to embrace her future with Matt by her side. And so, Emma's journey comes full circle. What began as secret room dates hidden from her family's eyes grew into a love story that defied expectations. Along the way, she faced suspicion, confrontation, and the life-changing revelation of pregnancy. Yet, through every storm, Emma stood firm in her choices, determined to embrace both love and responsibility. Matt's confidence, Amber's protective instincts, and Trent's cautious pragmatism all collided to shape the path that led here, to a wedding day filled with hope, unity, and new beginnings. But as the music fades and the lights dim, one question lingers. Was it all worth the risk? Emma's story is not just about romance. It's about courage, defiance, and the price of independence. She chose to follow her heart, even when it meant breaking the rules of her family's world. She chose to embrace motherhood, even when judgment threatened to overwhelm her. And she chose to marry Matt, sealing her future with a man who promised to stand by her side. Yet every choice carries consequences, and every decision leaves behind questions that only time can answer. Now the spotlight turns to you, the audience. What do you think? Was Emma reckless? Or was she brave? Did she sacrifice her family's honor? Or did she redefine it? Should Amber's $1 million gift be seen as unconditional love or as a desperate attempt to protect her daughter's future? And most importantly, can a love born in secrecy truly survive in the light of day? This story may be about Emma, but in many ways, it reflects all of us. We all face choices that test our courage, challenge our families, and force us to decide between safety and passion. So ask yourself, if you were in Emma's place, what would you have done? Would you have chosen love, risk, and independence, or silence, obedience, and security? The answers lie not in Emma's story alone, but in the way we see ourselves. Share your thoughts, your feelings, and your judgments, because in the end, this isn't just Emma's journey. It's a mirror of the choices we all must make when love and life demand everything. More update. 7 Little Johnstons. Did Emma Johnston break Mom Amber's spell? Finally getting out of her grip. Star Emma Johnston flaunts her hair makeover. And Emma shares sweet tribute for her late grandma in her latest post. I'll miss you. Alex Johnston slammed for spoiling sister Emma's special moment. I will explain everything. Emma Johnston, star of 7 Little Johnstons, seems to be escaping Mom Amber's grip at last. She recently shocked everyone with a daring change in her behavior. The reality TV star's unexpectedly defiant behavior has taken many by surprise. Many viewers have enjoyed seeing Emma and the other children dance to Amber's music throughout the years. However, it appears that she is finally breaking free of the toxic environment and testing limits. Anna and the reality TV star did not have the same closeness, and this upset the star tremendously. Because of all the commotion, Emma appeared distressed, and fans noticed. Anna has already said that her mom barred her sister from contacting her. Emma, though, appears prepared to break the mold and establish limits. Tell me what she did. Does she truly believe she can defeat Amber? The way Emma Johnston handled all the drama involving Anna baffled 7 Little Johnstons fans. She went to great lengths to pretend to support her sister on multiple occasions. The reality TV star, however, acts differently the very next second. Many viewers have speculated that Emma is coerced into speaking ill about Anna by Amber. When Emma pulled a similar stunt in season 16, their suspicions were confirmed. She spoke her mind over the continuing family strife. All the reality TV star wanted was for Anna to stay out of the spotlight. To spare herself the wrath of her parents, Emma hoped her sister would apologize. As a result, the audience could hear the TLC star's terror in her voice. She appeared too timid to say anything that may annoy her parents, in their opinion. The unexpected change in Emma Johnston's behavior has taken observers by surprise. She now appears to have no qualms about standing with her sister Anna. Along the way, she faced suspicion, confrontation, and the life-changing revelation of pregnancy. Yet through every storm, Emma stood firm in her choices, determined to embrace both love and responsibility. Matt's confidence, Amber's protective instincts, and Trent's cautious pragmatism all collided to shape the path that led here to a wedding day filled with hope, unity, and new beginnings. But as the music fades and the lights dim, one question lingers. Was it all worth the risk? Emma's story is not just about romance. It's about courage, defiance, and the price of independence. She chose to follow her heart, even when it meant breaking the rules of her family's world. She chose to embrace motherhood, even when judgment threatened to overwhelm her. And she chose to marry Matt, sealing her future with a man who promised to stand by her side. Yet every choice carries consequences, and every decision leaves behind questions that only time can answer. Now the spotlight turns to you, the audience. What do you think? Was Emma reckless? Or was she brave? Did she sacrifice her family's honor? Or did she redefine it? Should Amber's $1 million gift be seen as unconditional love or as a desperate attempt to protect her daughter's future? And most importantly, can a love born in secrecy truly survive in the light of day? This story may be about Emma, but in many ways, it reflects all of us. We all face choices that test our courage, challenge our families, and force us to decide between safety and passion. So ask yourself, if you were in Emma's place, what would you have done? Would you have chosen love, risk, and independence, or silence, obedience, and security? The answers lie not in Emma's story alone, but in the way we see ourselves. Share your thoughts, your feelings, and your judgments, because in the end, this isn't just Emma's journey. It's a mirror of the choices we all must make when love and life demand everything. More update. 7 Little Johnstons. Did Emma Johnston break Mom Amber's spell, finally getting out of her grip? Star Emma Johnston flaunts her hair makeover. And Emma shares sweet tribute for her late grandma in her latest post. I'll miss you. Alex Johnston slammed for spoiling sister Emma's special moment. I will explain everything. Emma Johnston, star of 7 Little Johnstons, seems to be escaping Mom Amber's grip at last. She recently shocked everyone with a daring change in her behavior. The reality TV star's unexpectedly defiant behavior has taken many by surprise. Many viewers have enjoyed seeing Emma and the other children dance to Amber's music throughout the years. However, it appears that she is finally breaking free of the toxic environment and testing limits. Anna and the reality TV star did not have the same closeness, and this upset the star tremendously. Because of all the commotion, Emma appeared distressed, and fans noticed. Anna has already said that her mom barred her sister from contacting her. Emma, though, appears prepared to break the mold and establish limits. Tell me what she did. Does she truly believe she can defeat Amber? The way Emma Johnston handled all the drama involving Anna baffled 7 Little Johnstons fans. She went to great lengths to pretend to support her sister on multiple occasions. The reality TV star, however, acts differently the very next second. Many viewers have speculated that Emma is coerced into speaking ill about Anna by Amber. When Emma pulled a similar stunt in season 16, their suspicions were confirmed. She spoke her mind over the continuing family strife. All the reality TV star wanted was for Anna to stay out of the spotlight. To spare herself the wrath of her parents, Emma hoped her sister would apologize. As a result, the audience could hear the TLC star's terror in her voice. She appeared too timid to say anything that may annoy her parents, in their opinion. The unexpected change in Emma Johnston's behavior has taken observers by surprise. She now appears to have no qualms about standing with her sister Anna. As a result of all the turmoil, the star of 7 Little Johnstons has probably broken her silence and indirectly criticized her parents. At Liz's wedding, Emma just posted a video of herself and Ashley dancing and enjoying themselves. So people started making fun of her for siding against Anna. Someone took offense to her sister's feud and scribbled Team Anna to criticize her. Emma said, agreed, without providing much explanation, which was surprising. A Reddit user shared her thoughts in a discussion about the experience. The original poster pondered whether she is escaping her mother Amber's control. It would be completely comical if Emma broke the spell of Ambitch and moved out and lived with Anna, one admirer said. Someone else thought it should have happened, and Emma had to fight back against the brutality. They think she should start living on her own, just like Anna. In order to prove to Trent and Amber that they are successful, several viewers thought the siblings should move in together. Since Emma has not yet achieved full independence, some of her admirers worried that her parents might cut off financial support for her university. They think that might explain why she is still dealing with all the harmful people. Emma will establish limits and leave her parents' house as soon as possible, according to another user. A group of 7 Little Johnstons supporters are hoping that Emma will eventually leave the family and strike out on her own. Star Emma Johnston flaunts her hair makeover. The new update has nothing to do with family strife, so 7 Little Johnstons fans can breathe a sigh of relief. The increasing animosity among the Johnstons had caused the internet forums to become extremely heated. Nevertheless, this modification regarding Emma's hairstyle may provide as a temporary reprieve. It looks like she got a new hairstyle. Even though Emma had a lot on her plate due to family issues, she is probably overjoyed by this new development. In a recent family argument, she and her brother Alex both aggressively slammed Anna. Since then, she has been heavily criticized by the public. But in her current story, she appears joyful and happy, in stark contrast to her anxious self. Emma, which story did she publish? If you want to know more about her new hairstyle, you should keep reading. It's possible that Emma and Alex Johnston, who star in 7 Little Johnstons, are sick of hearing about the drama in their family. The fact that the siblings no longer care to trash talk Anna is something that fans have undoubtedly observed. Now they think the TLC stars may be sick of falling for Amber's tricks. While having a confessional with Anna not long ago, Emma, Alex, and Jonah revealed their predicament. Emma and Alex stopped paying attention and began doing things at random. As a result, viewers hypothesized that the characters might be exhausted from dealing with the seemingly endless family conflict. One admirer made the comment, "They looked really done with everything," on an internet forum. Someone else thought Emma was just on TLC for the money. Emma Johnston has lately received harsh comments from fans due to her celebrity with the 7 Little Johnstons. She has lost a significant portion of her fan base as a result of her actions, which involve supporting Liz and adhering to her family's poisonous behaviors. The increasing outrage from fans has clearly been a source of concern for her and the Johnstons. But the TLC star gave herself a day off from dealing with family issues as a result. She went ahead and got a new hairstyle for herself as well. It appears that her goal of enjoying a relaxing and enjoyable day was fulfilled. After getting a new hairstyle, Emma appeared to cut it a few inches shorter. The actress also added delicate streaks of golden brown highlights to her hair. This causes light to cast a darker shade on some of her hair than others. She posted the shot on her Instagram story, not to mention that she was out with the newlywed Mrs. Bolden on a date. Coffee date with Mrs. Bolden, the article stated. Liz, holding a cup of coffee, made a goofy expression in the anecdote. As the sisters caught up after the hectic wedding schedule, Emma's half-drunk coffee sat on her side of the table. While some fans are still outraged by the change, others have appreciated it. Along with Liz's wedding, Emma has been sharing images from the big day. It seemed like one of the best days was how she remembered it. Do you think Emma's new hairstyle is cute? Post a comment and tell us. Emma shares sweet tribute for her late grandma in her latest post. I'll miss you. The loss of Emma Johnston's grandma is causing her to struggle. She is mourning the death of her grandmother and figuring out how to handle her feelings. Social media was used by the 7 Little Johnstons family to confirm the death of their cherished relative. Amber verified the news on social media by posting a picture of her deceased mother-in-law. She may still be dealing with her feelings, which is why she didn't talk much about the terrible event. Poppy, Trent's father, passed away more than a year ago. His second parent's death must therefore be extremely difficult for him. The reality TV personality hasn't expressed his emotions to his followers. Trent is already battling his personal health problems. It was Liz who broke the news to the fans first. Emma also honored her grandmother by sharing a heartfelt recollection. Trent Johnston's kids enjoy a close relationship with their grandparents. They cherished spending time with them and had a unique bond. However, the family of the 7 Little Johnstons has had a very tough few years. Liz's upload of a picture of herself with her Nana startled followers. She decorated her grandmother's head with a halo sign to symbolize her untimely death. The TLC personality shared her affection for her grandmother. Liz wrote, "I will always love you, Nana." She used the past tense when speaking about her grandmother as well. The reality TV star's death was thus the subject of fan speculation. The fact that Trent lost both of his parents in 2 years astounded them. They hoped he would soon get over the loss. A number of admirers offered prayers for her and the family. One of the youngest family members is Emma Johnston. She had a beautiful rapport with her grandparents and was always quite close to them. After losing her grandmother, the TLC star must be struggling to deal with her feelings. Emma recently sent her Nana a cute video of herself. While sitting next to the latter's bed, she painted her fingernails. The reality TV personality was lovingly caring for her grandmother and making her happy in her final moments. Trent's mother was seen by fans resting peacefully in bed while wearing a nasal cannula and other devices. The clip showed her looking quite tired and feeble. However, the 7 Little Johnstons actress was content to be surrounded by her grandchildren in her last moments. As a result, Emma posted the recording and a heartfelt homage to her grandmother. "Our Nana is in heaven being watched over by Poppy," she wrote. She acknowledged how much she missed her as well. Supporters expressed their sympathy to the family and remarked on Emma's close relationship with her grandmother. One reader said, "Ah, I'm so sorry for you and your entire family, sweetheart. I hope she finds love and peace." Another person expressed optimism that Trent is doing well and that his health may be suffering from witnessing his parents go within a few years. Another user went on to say, "She was among the most charming women I have ever encountered." What are your thoughts on the kind gesture? Tell us what you think below. Alex Johnston slammed for spoiling sister Emma's special moment. When Seven Little Johnstons star Alex Johnston ruined his sister Emma's prom night, he took a lot of heat. Critics say he's trying to get fans to feel sorry for him by drawing attention away from his sister. The TLC star's fiancée Ali was unable to attend the prom, so he attended the event solo. As the clock ticked down to the last day of school, Emma secured a companion for the major event. She wanted for nothing less than perfection on the big day. Together with her brother, the TLC star attends the same school. When season 15 comes to a close, Emma and Alex will have completed their time at senior high. They can't wait to start fresh in life. But the latter's actions have angered the fans. What was his action? People are criticizing him, but why? Was it on purpose that he ruined Emma's day? Her new accomplishment has Emma Johnston giddy with joy. Not long from now, in season 15, she'll be receiving her high school diploma. As a result, the star of Seven Little Johnstons couldn't wait until prom night. On her big night, Emma found a companion and wished for nothing less than perfection. She and her mom, Amber, and aunt just went clothing shopping. She wore each costume to the test, and each one was beautiful. A tangerine gown and a mermaid gown with delicate lace were both tried on by the reality TV personality. The dazzling blow gown was perfect for the Under the Sea theme, and Emma loved it since it made her seem stunning. The fans were ecstatic when Emma eventually settled on the lacy blue gown. Was Alex responsible for Emma's downfall? During season 15's prom night, Alex Johnston seemed somewhat downcast. Since his girlfriend, Ali, was unable to accompany him, he was left to attend the party solo. The reality TV star, nevertheless, began to cry as the couple danced slowly in his presence. While sobbing beside Emma, Alex's need for Ali intensified as a song brought back painful memories of her. Therefore, the fans were rather angered by Alex's immature actions during prom. He could have sobbed in his seat or the bathroom, but right next to where she was dancing, a Reddit user commented. A supporter of the Seven Little Johnstons wondered why the fans should ruin the mood by slow dancing with Emma and her companion. Many viewers shared the original poster's disapproval of Alex's actions. Going 2 feet away and staring at them dance was beyond bizarre, one admirer exclaimed. Not only crying, instead of sobbing with his sister, another user questioned why Alex hadn't jumped into the punch bowl. Additionally, another person wrote, "In the 70s, we didn't go to proms unless we had a date at my school." Some people even think Alex is stalkerish around Ali. They couldn't bear to witness his shameful behavior. Even though Emma desperately wanted to forget about her sobbing brother and have a good night, everyone around her found it funny. No more today. What are you thinking about this gossip today? Let us know in the comments, and stay tuned by subscribing to our channel to get more updates like this. Thank you.